In this video, I'm going to show you how to make something called Polyscape art, where you basically take a bunch of shapes and you paste pictures inside of it to make a piece of art like this. And in the slide instructions that I'm giving you, you'll see a bunch of different examples and to give you some inspiration. So these are pretty easy, so if you have extra time, make several of them. Don't just make one and stop. Spend your whole week making as many of these as you can, because you'll be surprised that you might make something better if you keep going. File, New, and I want you to choose Print and then choose Letter. And then over here in the presets, you're going to see you have 8.5 by 11 inches. The resolution is 300, but right now I have mine set at vertical orientation. Be sure to click horizontal orientation. I want all of yours to be horizontal like this, okay? This is called landscape. Make sure that artboards is not checked, and then press create. So after you create your new document, you're going to need to go to pixabay.com and download some pictures that you want to use in your artwork. So I've already downloaded this one here. I'm going to do Control A to select all, Control C to copy, and then we're going to close that out. I don't need it anymore. And then Control V to paste. And I want this picture to fill up the whole background. So you can either get the Move tool or you can say Control T, either one, and I'm going to drag the corners all the way so this thing fills up the whole spot. And then press the check mark. And let me go ahead and start drawing some shapes. So now it's not hard to just draw a circle. Let's go ahead and get your ellipse tool in the shapes. So remember, we're going to be drawing these shapes over here with this tool, the ellipse tool, or any of these shapes here. I'm going to start with the ellipse, and I'm just going to hold the shift key while I drag this circle because I want it to stay perfectly round. Remember, if you don't hold the shift key, you'll get more of a oval or egg shape. So holding the shift key keeps things perfectly round or perfectly square. Now it'll end up being the color that you use last. So I'm going to go up here at the top control strip, and I'm going to make sure that this says shape, and I'm going to fill this with the color. I'm going to say white, and I'm going to have the stroke none. All right, now I need to draw another circle because I'm actually going to put a hole inside of this circle. So to deselect that circle, just hold the control key and click off to the side. And let's go ahead and draw another circle. So I'm going to hold the shift key again, and this time I want this circle to be a little bit smaller, and I need to make it a different color so I can see the difference between the two. Now I want to make sure that they're centered perfectly, like I'm going to kind of make a donut shape. So the way I need to do that, yes, I can get the Move tool and I can drag it and try to get it centered. That's pretty good, but I can also do this. I want to show you. Press the control key off to the side to deselect both those shapes, and then go over here to your layers. I'm going to click on the ellipse 2, and I'm going to hold the shift key and get the ellipse 1 so that they're both selected. And then you can go up to layer, and you can say align, and you can do vertical centers, and then go layer, align, horizontal centers. Now mine were already centered, so it was okay, but if they're not, it'll bump them together. Now what I want to do next is make that black circle knock a hole in the white circle so that I have like this donut shape. So while they're both selected still, you can go to layer and combine shapes and say subtract front shape. So there you go. Now I have kind of a donut shape. It doesn't really matter what color they are because I'm going to be pasting another photo inside of it. So I'm going to get the Move tool here, and I'm going to kind of center that. Now I'm going to show you how to paste a picture inside that. So let me go and get another one of my photos that I downloaded. Maybe I'll just get this one. I'm going to do Control A. Whoops, get my selection tool. Control A to select, Control C to copy, close that out, and Control V to paste. And I'm going to use the Move tool to make this bigger. I want it to totally cover up that circle so that I don't see any of the circle at all. Press the check mark. And now I'm going to make this picture appear only inside the ellipse, by making it a clipping mask. So if I'm going to go over here to my layers and click on these little lines over here to the side, or you can do it up here, layer, create clipping mask. So I want to show you both ways. You can do it in the layer menu, or if you click on these little lines here, you can also find create clipping mask. So either place. Now you see that the stars only appear inside of that circle that I made. So I'm going to go ahead and group these two so that they don't get separated. So just do Control G to group those. And now when I move them, so if I get the move tool, I can move this around and they're kind of connected together. All right, so now I want to get another photo that I downloaded and make another shape and put that photo inside another shape. So this time I'm just going to get, click and hold here and get the triangle tool. And once again, I'm going to hold the shift key because I want my triangle to stay perfectly symmetrical. And I'm going to get the move tool and move it over here so that it's like that. And let me download or open the other picture that I downloaded. So I'm going to do get the select tool and do Control A and then Control C. We're going to close that, do Control V, and then I want this picture to appear just inside of the triangle, so I need to make it a clipping mask. So you can go to Layer, Create Clipping Mask, and now you see it's just in the triangle. Now if you want to move the picture around inside the triangle, that's no problem. Just click on that layer, get your move tool, and you can move the picture around so that and you can even size it. Like I think I want to make it a little smaller so I can see the clouds in there too. And then press the check mark. All right, so continue to do that. Just make different shapes and fill them in and put them inside other shape, put pictures inside the shapes. It also looks cool if you do some shapes that are just outlines. So let me maybe go to my bottom layer here and make another ellipse tool. This time I want it to be a lot bigger, and I'm just going to maybe make it an outline. So I'm going to say fill, none, and then stroke with maybe white. So it just has a white outline, and then maybe make the outline a little bit bigger, something like that. And then I'm going to use my move tool to center it around the others. So yeah, continue to do that. Build your layers like I did over here. I kept adding shapes, and sometimes I would do that, like in my triangles, I did the subtract the front shape so that it was only filling in there. I put another background square, and I have these lines here. So if you want to make any lines, just do what I did there, where you fill the shape with, fill the shape with none, and then add a stroke. So let me go to my triangle, and I just want to put a white stroke around that. So go to Layer and go to Layer Style, and let's say Stroke. So you see it put a blue stroke right there. If you want to change the color, just click on the color there. You can make it a different color, and you can make it thicker or thinner here. Say okay. I'm going to do that on my Group 1 ellipse also. So I'm going to go to Layer and say Layer Style, Stroke, and put that there. Maybe make this one a little different color and say okay. So I want to move this white circle a little bit. It's kind of not centered very well with the rest of the artwork. I can get my move tool, and I can just use my arrow keys to nudge those a little bit. So another thing I want to do to mine before I finish is to go over here on this layer. I want to make this kind of a more interesting color, and I want it to fade from one color to another and kind of blend with the layer a little bit different. If you go down here to the bottom and you click where that little circle, see where my mouse is, that little half circle, if you click and hold on that and choose gradient, gradient just means fading from one color to the next. So choose gradient, and then it's going to get this window that pops up, and click on this little arrow right here, and then open some of these folders and pick some colors that you think are interesting. So I'm going to check maybe with this blue and purple right here. I'm going to say okay to that, And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to leave it solid like that. I'm going to go over here to where it says layers and where it says normal. I'm going to click and hold, and these are called layer blending modes. I'm going to try some of these different ones. Oh, I like that one right there. So go through these and see what all they do. They can make your picture look completely different. Try them all out. I'm going to leave mine on multiply. I like that one. So try those out. These are called layer blending modes, and they can make your artwork look really interesting as well. So when you're done, don't forget to type your name at the bottom, as always. And then save your file. Do a regular save to get your layered file and a PSD Photoshop file, and then do save a copy and save a JPEG, and that's what you'll turn into for your assignment.